are the chapter tasks for June, July, and August.
So in June, the chapter is going to have a Bon Voyage Party, which is done in a lot of different ways in different chapters. Let's hear about how they're done in various chapters.
Some chapters have a pool party. Other chapters just have a house party where everybody brings food. Some chapters host it where they order pizzas so people just show up. It's a great opportunity for your chapter to sell merchandise because that's what kids are going to be trading on their programs.
Another thing that we've done is had the party at the campsite. So they come to all the parents and stuff come to the campsite to help set up, and then we have the farewell party.
I've heard some great ideas that a lot of chapters present each of the delegations with a USA flag that they'll take with them to the program because each delegation needs to bring a flag. It's a great time to invite families, friends, grandparents to come see the delegates before they leave. And it's nice if the delegations will put together some sort of presentation, whether it be the skit they're going to do during National Night or some ideas of what they're expecting out of the program and share that. In June, it's really important to get some things set up for what you're going to need in the fall. So you need the debriefing date, and you may want to set up that fall meeting, which is either with the debriefing or with something else. If you're hosting a program in the summer, you're going to see the people a lot. But if you're not hosting, if you don't get those dates on their calendars, you might miss out having them participate.
Chapters are required to have 2 general meetings, and typically chapters have one in the spring, and they're often combined with the Bon Voyage Party. And then oftentimes the fall general meeting is combined with the debrief. But keep in mind that you do have to have two general meetings.
Sometimes the fall general meeting can also be combined with the reveal.
A lot of times you'll hear the term board meeting referred to in our presentations, but most chapters have chapter meetings, and that includes the board, but it also includes leaders and parents who are involved in the chapter and our volunteers. Boards need to vote on things, and most of the things the chapters are dealing with on a daily, monthly basis don't need to be voted on. So make sure your chapter knows that meetings are open to the chapter. It would be good to get rid of using the term board meeting unless you're truly doing a board meeting. So each chapter is required to have a certain number of board meetings according to their bylaws. But we like to encourage you to include all interested adults in the chapter to come to those meetings, which most things discussed are not board related. They're chapter operations that are being discussed that you want input from people who will volunteer to do some of those tasks.
And also, just as an aside, the people who show up at the board meetings who are not board members are the people you can recruit to become board members next year. They're interested, they want to help, just ask. And that, I have to say, that's my big takeaway from even chapter development. Most people who are involved in the CISV and whose kids are JBers want to help. They just don't know how to get involved. So just ask them to do something. What do they like? What are they interested in? Ask them to get involved. Most people will say yes.
So this is the final organization for getting your program together, making sure you have enough volunteers to set up and break down the program, make sure you have enough host families. A lot of that is, put on the planner, but all of the volunteers need to be in place for the summer.
And the Bon Voyage Party is a great time to recruit some of those volunteers who have not signed up for things yet. And for example, that's a great time to find the people to do laundry or the people to do last minute transportation or act as runners. to do the things that you didn't have in place earlier. Most chapters have 10 monthly board meetings, so they typically take July and August off. However, if the chapter president is going to be away, you do need to have a plan in place for who's going to answer questions and who's going to be behind the scenes if you're hosting a chapter, so that you have people who are responsible. A lot of times that falls to the risk manager.
So if your chapter is planning to do a mosaic, there's no one particular time to be planning or executing it. So this is something to think about at every time of year. JB activities need to be ongoing throughout the year. So make sure that they are happening. It's very common in chapters that are gung-ho and getting it, the group together every month, and then somehow it slides off in the springtime. So it's a good thing for the adult leadership to be looking at whether they're continuing to get together.